large outcry from the public that these are inappropriate. For example, boys playing in girls' sports, and just the confusion that it brings.
For the first time in nearly 20 years, the Michigan State Board of Education is thinking about updating sex ed standards for public schools. Thanks for joining us on News Channel 3 at 6 on this Wednesday. I'm Andy Dominiani.
And I'm Jessica Hardhorn. The topic was brought up in a meeting this week and has caused controversy with parents. News Channel 3's Princess Johnny Steverson joining us live in the studio tonight. And Princess, we're learning this discussion stemmed from a U.S. Supreme Court case.
And a recent one, too. This past June, the case of Mahmoud versus Taylor out of Maryland was a case about parents who wanted to opt their kids out of curriculum that involved LGBTQ+ books. Now, the Supreme Court sided with the parents, saying the school district's policy of not permitting opt-outs violated the parents' First Amendment right to free exercise of religion. This week, a similar argument was played out in Michigan.
The following objectionable standards are such: define gender identity, gender expression, and sexual orientation.
Those were just some of the issues brought up when discussing if parents have a say in whether their kids learn sex ed at school. It was during this week's Michigan State Board of Education sit-down. There were parents in favor and some not.
This is not biology, this is ideology. These lessons promote gender theory and sexual identity discussions that belong in the homes.
We should not be fearing the adoption of these standards. We should all be fearing what will happen if they are not adopted.
Michigan's Department of Education says state law requires a separation of sex and health education to ensure local control and opting out. When I did some research, I found instead state law mandates that if sex education is taught, it must be separate from other health classes. Now, what the department wants to do is update their current curriculum because it hasn't been edited since 2007.
This means that an entire generation of students has gone through school using outdated guidance that does not reflect what we now know about mental health, technology, vaping, healthy relationships, consent.
This framework strips parents of the option to opt out, a right guaranteed by Michigan law. These are lessons I teach my child at home. Schools are supposed to reinforce values parents teach, not replace them.
At this time, parents in Michigan will still be able to opt their kid out of any sex education in public schools. I reached out to the state's Department of Education asking questions like if a district's sex education advisory board wants to include content that some parents object to, how will conflicts be resolved at the local level? A spokesperson says those are the questions that the board is wanting to answer, but they're very busy, but we are going to have someone to answer those questions tomorrow, and we'll be following up on that. Reporting live in studio, Princess Johnny Steverson, News Channel